So anyway,
Okay.
I'm chilling with this guy. He calls me up one day and he's like, "Yo, I have this homegirl that you should meet and interview because she loves hip hop, and her name is Cinnamon Love." Hello.
Hi.
How are you doing?
I'm good.
Yeah, chilling.
Yeah, chilling.
Well, for those who don't know who you are, go ahead and introduce yourself. Give us your little bio and go ahead and stunt on them. Just whatever you want to say about yourself. Yeah. What's your name?
Cinnamon Love.
Yeah, Cinnamon Love. Hello.
And I'm 35.
No way.
Years old. I've been in the porn industry for 16 years. I guess you could say I am the longest running, currently active black porn star in the industry.
Oh, okay.
Black female porn star, that is.
Okay.
So I've done about 250 movies, maybe 30 plus men's magazines, lots and lots of websites. I've done it all. I'm a writer, a mom, a total hip-hop head. I'm a relatively active blogger when I actually make time to blog. And other than that, that's me. I'm just pretty much your average girl that just happens to do porn for a living.
You being a hip-hop head, who are some of your... Well, first of all, okay, let's ask the brown sugar question. When did you fall in love with hip-hop?
I was just saying something about that earlier.
Yeah.
Like not even 20 minutes ago. I'm going to repeat what I just said to someone else earlier, which is that I've always said that when I write my autobiography that it will begin, I didn't fall in love with hip-hop, hip-hop fell in love with me. And that is my answer to the brown sugar question. Because it's true. I wasn't into hip-hop until my 20s. And I had a really good hip-hop education. But prior to falling in love with hip-hop, I was into pop music. Duran Duran, The Who, The Doors. I grew up with a classical background. My mom was trained at Juilliard. She's as an opera singer. And I grew up mostly listening to classical, some classic R&B, or what is now considered classic R&B, and I like gospel music, that's it. And the first secular song that I remember listening to was Controversy by Prince.
Oh yeah.
which was a big song to hear for the first time, like listening to something other than classical or gospel. And my cousin was to blame for that one. My daughter's father started introducing me to poor righteous teachers, leaders of the new school.
Were you raised out east?
Music. I was raised in Michigan.
Okay.
Yeah, I moved out here. Okay, my phone sex line is going off.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
No problem.
It's like that was like the fifth call.
I mean, you can go ahead and answer it.
No, thank you.
I got like 60 minutes on this thing, so.
No, thank you.
Is it phone sex line?
Yes. But that's another story. But no, it wasn't. I mean, I remember like I had a friend, and my first love back in the 10th grade used to play the red, the black, and the green, like all the time. Like, and I used to just like, and then, I was really into Tribe. Like that was probably the first group that I remember really being into without acknowledging that I was into hip hop. And then again when I got into my 20s and I really just kind of started being introduced to other hip hop. I remember Bahamadia 3 the Hard Way.
Yeah.
I was like, and Hotness. That was the shit. Like I used to love her. I mean, the first time I heard Common, I was like, oh my God, this man like has something to say. It's like all the artists that I'm into, Talib, Merce. I like men that have something to say, something behind the looks and the brawn. I like men that are educated, intellectual. So hip hop kind of, I was drawn to it because it spoke to me. And I mean, I know that sounds cliche, but that's what it was.
What is it you think about the industries, hip-hop industry? It's been in porn. You think they have a lot in common? Like maybe they're kind of looked at as renegade subcultures, maybe?
I think that porn has always been hip-hop's mistress, dating back to Rum Shaker. It's like the girls in the bikinis shaking their ass in the video. Porn or soft porn or images, risque images of women have always been used to sell hip-hop and kind of soften the message or titillate so that you have something that's more commercial. And I find that a lot of hip hop artists look at porn stars in a light like we're one of them. We are in the public eye just the same way that they are, and therefore they look at us a little differently than they do, like, let's say, the average groupie on the street, that they meet in a club. I think that a lot of people are, go into hip hop as a way out, and the same can be said for porn. It's, but fortunately, as more and more educated people get into both industries, that stereotype's changing. But it doesn't negate the fact that there's still people that view the hip-hop game or the porn industry as an option, where there aren't many.
As a person that works in the adult industry, do you think that there's a line between things that are like celebrating sex and then if it's like exploitation?
Absolutely. As with any industry, I think that you can cross the line by not paying people properly, for their craft. You can cross the line by just blatantly degrading someone. I think the fine line is when you cease to agree to do whatever it is that you're doing. I think it's very difficult to exploit the willing, first of all. But when you cease to be willing, that's where the exploitation comes into play. There are companies out there that produce product that, to me, is nothing more than simulated rape on film. And they hide behind these extravagant model releases to say that, I had this girl go through a 7-page release saying what she will and won't do, but then the vile acts that they commit on film are really nothing more than a rape film. When I see a girl having vomit poured on her head, because she threw up while she was sucking dick, you can't tell me that there was a conversation beforehand that said, okay, so if by chance, we're going to try to make you throw up on film, and if we do succeed, then we're going to pour that on your head. And the girl is like, okay, fine, yes, that's going to be great. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't foresee that conversation going down. So I definitely feel like there is, like, when things like that happen, that to me is exploitation. It's unfortunate that there are companies like that exist, and there are women out there that use this type of platform because they don't have any other options. They're not educated, and they don't have, other job skill sets, and they get into the business because they quote unquote have to. Even though that's changing, but there still is that segment of the industry, and I think that those people are the ones that, are more likely to be exploited. The girl that shows up to do her first film with, by spending the last bit of money that she has on a cab to get to the set, and the set's in a remote location, and they spring a double anal on her instead of a DP, you know what I'm saying, or instead of an anal scene. It's like that to me is exploitation, and I think that exists in any market. I mean, you get artists that are exploited financially by poor contracts and poor management. It's not the same because it's not physical exploitation and sexual exploitation, and unfortunately, people look at sexual exploitation a certain way. There's, but you have to remember, most of the women that get into the business are not exploited, because if they did, you wouldn't have so many women in the business. Most of the women that are getting into the business exploit themselves. They recognize that, I'm young, I'm pretty, I have a great body. Yes, I have a mind. Yes, I could be going to school, but you know what? I'm gonna pimp myself for all it's worth. It's like, this is not your grandfather's porno where you've got some guy beating a girl over the head in the back alley and shooting drugs up her arm to make her go do porn. It's like porn has become more and more mainstream, and therefore it's become a more financially viable industry, and people want to get into the business.